I know we are running a little bit behind on time, but what's most important for us to get this conversation going over the next couple of days as we onboard you and bring you into our community fold. So as we were preparing for the agenda for today, Kubra asked me to prepare a talk on leading your community to the next level. And I think this is placed really well after the two talks we had in the morning, because we talked about like, why are we here? What's Google's interest in doing a program like this, and what's the expectation? And now in next few 20-25 minutes, based on how we do on time, my attempt is to share what are some of the things we have learned over the years when it comes to like building a community. Because for us, like as you are building communities in your cities, your chapters, we have in a way build a community network with all of you, right? Like, and it's a community of GDG organizers that we work with, GDE experts, women tech maker ambassadors, GBG organizers in countries where we have. And this is not just a US or a North America network that we have communities like this across the world. So we have had some learnings on our side that has gone into building a network like this. So my attempt right now is to share some of our learnings and also try to make it relevant for you as you start your journey as GDG organizers. What this would mean is for those of you who are in Miami at the GDG Organizers Summit, there will be some repetition of content, because there we talked about what it takes to build a community-first developer relations organization. That's where a lot of these core fundamentals are coming from. But again, like as part of this talk, I've tried to adapt it more from the GDG organizers context. Does this make sense? And again, like we will continue to keep it interactive. So as we have been going on for the first couple of sessions today, feel free to ask questions as we go. And of course, towards the end, we'll also have opportunity for more questions. So as someone rightly said, it's really important sometimes to set the context and introduce yourself. What do you do? What's your role? What's your play in all of this? So I've been at Google for almost 7.5 years now, all of it in developer relations. My journey at Google has been involved in building all of our community programs. So when we started, GDG was one of the only programs we had, maybe 100, 200 chapters or slightly above that, and we did not have many of our other programs. So a lot of my work has gone into identifying what kind of community engagement developer programs we need to have from Google's side, help them get the resources, help them scale to the next level, design a lot of community campaigns, again in partnership with all of you. I remember running the first season of DevFest in 2012-13. We introduced Study Jam a few years later. We also launched a lot of campaigns that did not work well, and we folded them very quickly. The funny side is, only the successful examples are the ones that get talked about. If I will start, like we did this other campaign, we did viewing parties in cinema halls across the US. No one would know about it because it was not successful, and we're not doing it anymore. But that's my journey right now. Like, and the team that I lead, represent, works on all of developer community programs within Google. So it's a team of leaders from leading GDG program to developer student clubs to women tech maker ambassadors. And the North America team also reports directly to me. And that's actually a huge advantage for us in the global programs team, because for us, North America then is a really nice test bed and also one of our biggest developer markets, right? So we are working very closely with the North America team. If there are program ideas, we can test it, and vice versa as well. Sometimes a lot of great innovation comes from North America. Mentor program is a great example of that. GDG Academy, what we're doing here today, is kind of first globally, and then we take these program innovations, bring it into the global programs team, and try to scale it from there. I see my role also within Google as being a community advocate. So a lot of my time gets spent when we talk to internal stakeholders is pitching for all of you. Like, yes, there's a Google side of things, and we come to you and talk about our products, and of course we have more and more developers use that, but a lot of my time also goes in terms of being the community face within the organization and being honest with product areas sometimes, because your product manager, you are sitting in Mountain View, you don't get the perspective of developer's voice from across the world. And our team is global, and we get that voice. A lot of my time is spent on being honest, being brutal, and channeling that feedback back that helps our products get better. Does that make sense? As we welcome you into the GDG family, as Kyle said, I also want to remind you this is, yes, it's a US North America family, but we literally have a global family that you all are joining today. It's a 1,000 community chapter strong family, and if you add developer student clubs to this and Google business groups, this actually is almost 1,500 chapters. What does this mean? Like tomorrow, if you move to another part of the world, or even if you are traveling, Or not even that, if you want to get some insights of what developers are thinking in other markets, say for example Japan or China or parts of Europe, you are part of that global network. Those of you who have come to IO, where we host our global GDG Summit, you experience that network in person. But we are also creating avenues and channels and infrastructure through which you can actually be part of that conversation virtually. So as we welcome you into the GDG family, yes, welcome to our North America family, but also welcome to our global family. And this for me, this video represents the need why many of your members will come and join your community. We recently refreshed and rebuilt our community programs website. The previous version of that was great, but it was hand tailored for our community leaders, community organizers, come start a chapter. The new call to action is come be part of this amazing community. Our learning and our experience of talking to all of you boils down to three key things. People want to be part of this community to connect, to network, to come and learn, and then grow. And that's a constant theme you will continue to see as new people come and join. Many of them will also be vulnerable because they might not be on the higher end of the spectrum from a skill set point of view. So there will be a lot of insecurity, am I good enough? And the role for us as community leaders in this journey is to make sure that everyone feels included. So it's a constant reminder. This is also a reminder that we are now intentionally putting a lot of awareness and marketing campaign push to get more members to be part of your communities. So you'll actually see, hopefully, an influx of more and more members being part of your meetup and coming, joining your community, because that's something we are intentionally pushing a little bit more on from our side. This is what has, like, over the years when I have focused on building our community programs and the team internally that works on it, these are the three pillars that I have continued to focus on. And as you start your journey, I think probably all three of them are still valid, like feedback, not sitting in ivory tower, not sitting in your own silos, but really being very, very open to the feedback of what your community members want, what's working, what's not working. For us, this has mean over the years as we have launched and sunsetted programs or scaled them massively, it has been based on the feedback that we get from all of you, and that for us is a signal of our wider developer community out there. Putting community first. Almost every single decision that I make with my team, the thing that it boils down to, is this the right thing for our developers? And if it's not, 9 out of 10 times we don't do it. And I would encourage you to do the same. Irrespective of what some of us, and even like me or the Googlers tell you to do, if you don't think that's the right thing from a community point of view, feel free to push back. And that is the kind of culture we want to create. And then finally, being diverse and inclusive. We are trying to serve every single developer on this planet and not a part of that population. And as we step towards that goal, it's really important to be open for and being very inclusive. And inclusive, there are multiple, it has multiple ways, right? Like there's, of course, gender inclusivity is super, super important, different ethnicity, background. Within the US, we have a lot of that. And also from a skill set point of view, I touched upon it a few minutes ago. As people are coming to your community with the need to learn, they will not be an expert on day one. How can we create a safe environment where they don't feel intimidated? At the same time, when we are focusing a lot in some of our cloud initiatives, there will be folks who are actually experts. How can we create an environment where they don't feel like it's not the best use of my time to come to a place like this. So you would be juggling across all of those challenges, and that'll be the fun part of the journey. For the first one, as I said, every single decision that you make as a community leader, keep this litmus test on top of your mind. Does this decision that I'm making, does this put the community first? And if not, that is a clear indication for us to maybe reconsider it, push back, and then you have a proper reasoning. Like if someone from the team says, like, hey, this is a campaign, we're thinking about doing it, you have a proper data-based reasoning to say why not to do it, and be vocal on that. Be open to feedback. Use every single channel, be it the Slack channel, be it the program, post-meetup surveys that you do, be it live feedback at the event itself. Make sure that you have enough channels to gather that feedback. And finally, as I said, diversity and inclusion. The challenge on this, and because I struggled a little bit in my early years, and as I was trying to build a diverse team internally within my organization, the problem with this is we are naturally wired to surround ourselves with people who are like us and who like us. So like if there is a difference of opinion, we don't want to spend that additional mental energy to try to figure out the common ground. So it's easy for us to like just ignore people who have a different point of view, and the ones who are strongly aligned, we work with them. And also people who are not like us from a different background, different ethnicity, even language, we don't want to naturally, like, we're not trained to spend a lot of mental energy on that. And to overcome that barrier, I think is the first step. Like, how can we acknowledge that, yes, this is one of the biases that exists, this is one of the challenges, and then we work actively to overcome that. And for me, and for all of us at Google, of course, it's the most right thing to do, and that's one of the reasons we do it. It also, for us, makes a huge business sense. Like I said, at Google, we are building products for every single user on this planet, every single developer. I would not be successful in that endeavor if I'm building a community of GDG organizers and it only represents a certain background, a certain ethnicity, because then people who would likely come to your meetups will also be from the similar background, and then we are kind of ignoring a lot of our users. So those are the three principles we follow very, very actively as we have built this developer relations organization. I think most of those principles will likely be valid as you build your own communities. So with that, I'd love to play this video that the Women Tech Makers team released last year that touches upon some of our work when it comes to gender equity in tech.
It feels good to be liked. So whether we realize it or not, we usually feel most comfortable with people like us, who talk like us, work like us, who look like us. But a lot of people like each other in one place creates places that are a lot alike. And too much likeness holds us back. We're more innovative, profitable, and well, just right the more unalike we are. Women Tech Makers is working toward true gender equality in tech. And we need everyone in tech to help us reach this goal. Like Sabrina Farmer, who is sponsoring, not just mentoring women in her field. Brenda Jen, who is supporting women coders through Girl Develop It. And Meko Karake, who is working with his team to understand microaggressions. And we need you. Not just to join us, but to bring someone with you. To be one of millions more women to join the tech industry. Let's get together. Because when everyone in the workplace sees others like them, we can see that we all have a place in tech.
Clearly, as you can see, it's a lot more fun to be surrounded by people with diverse backgrounds and diverse point of view. If we are trying to be an idea factory to launch the next set of innovation, we can't, as I said, we can't afford to have not that kind of environment. What are some of the challenges that come in this journey? I touched upon the first one. Your leadership should reflect the diversity that you want to see in your community. Like, you should walk the talk. If I say, like, hey, like, we want to have a really diverse community, everyone is welcome, and then you look around, or on the stage, it's just one set of people. Like, that is not communicating really a strong intent. So as you're building as you're joining as an organizer or a co-organizer of existing chapter, and as you are building your team of volunteers, make sure that you keep that in mind. People look at that optics very, very carefully. The second channel is, and as we are trying to overcome these barriers of like you and people who like you and are like you, there will be a lot of miscommunication. There will be a lot of things which are people not assuming positive intent and taking things in not the right context, and that leads to miscommunication. Are there enough challenges in your community leadership team and in your wider community to quickly de-escalate issues where it's possible, and have channels to do that? Because that is a very effective way for not every single issue to snowball. Now, I'm not discounting if there are real issues and you as a leader feel that, hey, this is a real problem, then you take action. And we do that all the time. If there's something which is crossing the line, we take an action. But in many cases, there's also a proper open communication that can actually resolve a lot of things and get people to come back together and work towards the common goal. And finally, having a really clear community code of conduct that you have at your meetups. People know that it exists and it does get enforced if someone is on the wrong side. That really builds a lot of trust in people to be comfortable and come be part of your community. Anything else that people have? Like, some of you are actually community veterans and have been leading communities for a while now. Anything else that someone would like to add to this? Like, what has your experience been that helped your community be more inclusive, or some of your learnings? Yes, please. And do we want to maintain the same theme of share your goal? Okay.
Okay, so I am Tara from Northern Colorado, GDG, and my goal is to double our audience, which sounds pretty crazy, but we have a very small audience. And I want to teach that audience something new by the end of the year. So that is my goal. And on the topic of being inclusive, that was kind of the reason I joined, because I see a lot of people who've been in tech for years and years and just have so much experience, and it can be so intimidating to join. And yeah, I just want to make our growth, my kind of end goal team in mind for GDG Northern Colorado. I want to just make it people of all different backgrounds, people of all different levels of experience, and it's been difficult because I just don't know all the resources I have, and I'm a co-organizer, so I don't know like how much authority and power I have to make those types of decisions. But yes, that's why I'm here today, is to learn kind of all of that.
Sure.
Do now, that's the first thing.
Yeah. And sorry, before we go to you, that's actually a common goal that I would say all of us share. So I know in your case the questions are what kind of resources exist, but that I think I can speak on behalf of everyone in the room. That's one goal that we want to aspire, like having that inclusive community. Sorry, Eva.
Hi, I'm Emma, GDG Bronx. I wanted to comment on Tara's co-organizing statement. I'm supposed to share my goal, right? So my goal, bring tech to the Bronx, build a diverse community, put the Bronx on the map as a tech spot, enable and empower others to reach and surpass their own goals. So we're all co-organizers, is what I wanted to say. There's no differentiation between organizer and co-organizer. We have a problem named Uttam that we use as our solution. And it's also a problem. We're all co-organizers, even if it labels us as organizer, co-organizer. Let that be known there's no, I'm a co-organizer, not the organizer. You're an organizer, therefore.
That's actually spot on from our side. Like, we don't create that hierarchy. Like, hey, like there's this lead organizer and co-organizer. Few years ago, when we started using Meetup as a platform, as you alluded to, there is this nomenclature that exists on Meetup. But from our perspective, and I think that's kind of culture we want to inculcate. For us, all the organizers are working as a team. Now that's great, and I know that exists in theory. In practical, sometimes it is intimidating who just started organizer, and then you have an existing team that you are joining. The question is how much I can influence. This person brought me in, and now I'm trying to challenge a lot of those opinions, a lot of those questions. We are actively working on creating resources, and through the day today, and today is not the end of all those conversations, we would hopefully share some of those resources with you. A lot of those resources actually exist around you. There have been community leaders who started exactly like you, and like, hey, like, I had this challenging experience. We wanted to get some changes done in our community. It was hard, but we eventually were successful. So a lot of time today will also be on like, how can you share with each other and continue. Laura, you want to add to that?
I wanted to provide, is this?
Oh, you.
And I actually wanted to provide sort of like a strategic idea towards inclusivity, and this is a resource that's in the Women Tech Maker Ambassador, one of the folders that I share. I'm glad you can ask me about it. We have a goal setting worksheet for building an inclusive goal within your team. So I think one thing to think about is like, first of all, you don't have to just all at once, like to Naveen's point about goals. For inclusivity, I think it's great to have like maybe one a year. And so you're not trying to say like, okay, we're gonna get everyone here and everyone on the stage and everything. But do that with your other organizers. So you can get them on board, get them invested, and say like, okay, our goal in the next 6 months is to have, multiple people on stage from different backgrounds and different levels, right? And like set that goal and then set those action items, set that time frame. I think that's a way to get everyone involved and to make it just a little more like achievable, because I think otherwise it seems kind of hard. But yeah, so you can find that document and check with me if you want access to those.
My name's Stacy. I have one quick spotlight. We have some presentations about that a little bit later today. And you have awesome people you can ask, like at lunch, and hopefully keep asking. And literally this ties into my goal, which was to meet new GDGers and find a way that I can help them with a problem that they have directly. So that's my goal for today, so you better make it happen. I'm depending on y'all, okay?
Continue so that we try to stay on time.
Hello everybody, Jessica Janik, GDG Cambridge. I have a lot of goals that I've been slowly adding to, so I'm just gonna like pick a couple. For the community, I wanna give the members the same mentorship opportunities I had. I wanna grow the number of organizers, run great, well-organized, well-planned events, and provide women the same amazing feeling at WTM events that I had when I went to my first WTM event. So, and for our community, we've actually had some really good diversity numbers for women coming to our events. And I think a big reason for that is we do quarterly WTM events and have really good turnout at those. And the more often we do those, it's like making the community more aware that we are there. So when we have regular GDG events, those folks who went to our WTM events are seeing all of those too, and they're also coming. I also think it helps that the two of us that run the group we're both women, so having representation within the leadership, I think gets more women involved. So.
We get one more comment.
Thank you. So about inclusivity, I have a question. I said that sometimes, and I'm not sure about it, I said that sometimes there are people that they include the woman who code next to the Women Tech Makers logo. Can we bring women who code in our meetups, because I know many women that code that could join us. They usually don't come because they don't do Flutter, but we could have other coding labs and put together and make our women tech makers known more, because in the women community, let's say that women who code, it's more known. So I don't know, how can we bring this in our community?
Yeah, Laura, what's your take on that? Yeah, you're the expert.
Also, my goal was women techmaker ambassadors in every city. So you can have more than one ambassador per chapter, one ambassador per city, and we actually have expanded outside of GDG as well. And we can talk about that one-on-one if you want. So yes, and I think this speaks again to sort of what Scott was saying, his questions, what Naveen said. It's like, do what's right for your chapter, do what's right for your community, bring people in. We'd love to see collaboration. Because ultimately it's about empowering people who are interested in coding and development and technology and getting them together. So I love that idea, and I think the really nice thing is it's mutually beneficial for you and for the Women Who Code community, because you're both getting exposure to new people, to new technologies, to new paradigms of learning, whatever it might be. So like definitely, and happy to talk more kind of how you might be able to do that, and potentially in the afternoon, there'll be more tips like that.
Okay, thank you.
Awesome. Thank you. So we will move on. Talking about some of the resources that exist from Google's side that help you achieve those 3 goals we talked about: connect, learn, and grow. When you're running meetups, there would be need for content and there would be need for speakers. We periodically provide content bundles. These are resources, slide decks, code labs that you can use for running your meetup. We also have a great network of GDEs, Google Developer Experts, that Naveen alluded to. If they are in your city, it's amazing. You can invite them locally and they can come and speak at your meetups. Even if they are not in your city, there is travel budget available for GDEs to fly and come to your meetups. In that case, there's a process there to apply for that travel support, but they can come to your meetups and speak. Occasionally, and that's something we can't promise for every single chapter all the time, when Googlers are visiting or you have Google employees in your cities, they are also very happy to come to your meetups and talk over there. So these are for regular meetups, the ongoing meetups. We also provide resources to run larger campaigns, things like DevFest, which requires more planning, more resources, more budget. So there is help. For those of you, how many of you have heard of DevFest or aware what DevFest is? I would be like, hey, like maybe someone was sitting under the rock and they don't know what the DevFest is. So DevFest is at least one, sometimes a couple of days of event where there's multiple track sessions, again, like doing the right thing for the community, what kind of content your community wants to hear about, and you plan and run something around that. I would quickly run this video where some of the GDG organizers, people like you, actually talk about the experience, what it takes to run a DevFest, and what is the experience of the members. Oh, we go to the next? No, that's not what I wanted to do. I want to click on the button.
DevFest is amazing because we can share our knowledge and improve our skills.
It's a great time for us to get our community together so that they can meet new people and most importantly help each other grow.
Hey, why are you excited about DevFest?
Tech Talks, Hackathon.
The hackathon, you get to solve real community problems like transport and health using Google technologies.
Learn new things about Google technologies.
The new technologies to impact their businesses and organizations.
What's exciting me the most about DevFest this year?
The opportunity to bring people together and represent your community.
Especially women who are equally as passionate as I am about technology.
What's even more exciting is
to learn directly from experts in the field.
Meeting experts.
Live in people.
Learning.
We will be sharing great ideas and doing great stuff.
DevFest is amazing.
A lot of amazing people.
Local outreach.
Free food.
I'll see you at DevFest Cagayan de Oro,
DevFest Tangier,
Kansas City,
Ohio DevFest,
Kampala,
DevFest Vientiane,
North Central Nigeria,
DevFest Yaoundé,
Good old St. Louis, Missouri.
Zamboanga,
Nairobi.
DevFest Levante.
See you at DevFest 2018.
If you are serving a community with less than 1,000 developers, we can't expect you to run a DevFest with 500 members. It's not possible. So DevFest can be big or small. What's important is shaping something which is right for your community. Don't focus just on the size of attendees, and like making it diverse from a content point of view. So just not focusing on probably one product area, including a couple of products, and that's all, and like trying to do the right thing for your members. I know there's been more announcement for DevFest season for this year that has already gone out. So this might be a topic on which we have actually shared a lot more. But for those of you who are just getting started, DevFest is one of our major campaigns that we run every year. The second one is Study Jam. Who here has heard about Study Jam? Okay, so actually fewer hands than DevFest, so this is actually good. Study Jam is something we ran for the first time, I think 3 or 4 years ago. That was for Android. There was a lot of demand and people wanted to learn about Android, and we were creating online curriculum. But the challenge with just online only format is the drop-off rate is massive. You get started, you want to learn something, but then you get busy with something else in your life and you're not able to come back. With all the right intent and motivation, you still are not able to come back and finish that course. So what we try to do is mix the online format with a little bit of offline flavor to it, through which you have periodic in-person check-ins, and then you are working in some sort of a cohort, and you have a start date, you have an end date, and kind of achieve that together as a community. For Android, we received massive success with that. Like, community loved it. You all told us the right thing for your members, and for Study Jam, we are getting a lot of traction. As AI and machine learning is becoming like really, really interesting these days, and people want to learn about that, a lot of our Study Jam campaigns more recently have been focused on AI and machine learning and how can you use the power of cloud and compute to run that. Again, I'll run a real quick video that talks about Study Jam. And this is, again, one of the campaigns that you'll continue to hear about, I think, rest of this year, and I guess next year as well.
Hi, I'm Mitchie.
And I'm Ron. We're from Google Developers, here to count down the top 5 reasons to attend a Cloud Study Jam near you.
1. Cloud Study Jams are a way to get official, hands-on technical training at no cost on a wide range of technologies and topics available on the Google Cloud Platform.
Whether you're a beginner developer or interested in diving deep into machine learning, Kubernetes, GCP certification, Cloud IoT, or cloud security, there's a track for you.
2. What makes Study Jams the most interesting is that they're community-run by local developers like you.
When you study in groups, there's always someone there to help you. Communities start their learning journey together in person and then continue growing their skills individually online. 3. Speaking of local, with over 800 GDG community groups, there's likely a Study Jam happening close to you around the world.
4. Free stuff. When you participate in a Cloud Study Jam, you get 30 days free access to hands-on labs powered by Quick Labs, enabling you to develop and grow your prowess on cloud technologies. Complete your quests and earn Google Cloud badges.
We're here to celebrate your professional development and reward you for your success. The Google Cloud badges gain you additional access to Quick Labs.
5. Meet new, like-minded people in your community and stay in touch online and in person at future meetups.
Visit g.co/dev/cloudstudyjam to find a meetup near you.
Thank you. And our promise from a resources point of view, when you want to run a Study Jam, we work actively with the product areas to provide you with the content. If there is budget needed to support some of the Study Jams, we try to make sure that that's available periodically as you're doing your in-person check-ins, as you're running those Study Jams. We also can work on like providing you with mentors or experts who can help answer some of the questions for your community. Finally, a couple of other things, and this, I think this topic already came up. This was a problem that existed for a long time. We kept hearing from you. Our own team tried to come up with multiple solutions. The problem was, in many cases, we as Google was becoming a bottleneck between communication among many of you. And also not just people in this room or this network, but between you and, say, for example, Google developer experts. Like, how can we facilitate more one-to-one conversation between our community leaders and for you to reach out to an expert, and we are not the broker all the time. We also needed a platform through which we can share, like we want to provide you with content bundles and resources, a single platform through which we can share all of that. At Google I/O this year, those of you who were there, we announced Community Leads platform, and now we are rolling it out, inviting more and more of you to be part of that. In 6 months to 1 year from now, I see that as the single place for us to share a lot of information, share a lot of communication with all of you, seek feedback on a lot of topics, including surveys or spot checks, and also actually for a lot of one-on-one conversations among all of you. Someone asked about, like, you're doing this great academies, it's good. Will there be an online format of that? The question is yes, and that's part of our roadmap. As you get onboarded to the Community Leads platform, we want to create an online module through which actually you can go through some of these videos from the event like today, and you can get onboarded as a GDG organizer, and you know what resources exist. So that's part of our roadmap, and this is one of the resources I would actively encourage you to be part of if you haven't already signed up. And then finally, as we have been talking through this morning, all the awesome community leads and mentors around you, this picture is representative. This does not represent, or this is not a picture of all the mentors in the room here or for the region. But this is the kind of conversation, this is the kind of community exists, right? Like, and just to remind you, it's not just a community in North America. So as one of the resources that you're thinking about, all the community leads across the world and the mentors are also your awesome resources to be tapping into. And then finally, as you step into this journey, I want to make sure that one of the things that I talk about, and something that has helped me in the last few years as we have been on this journey together, is the power of empathy. When you are building your community, it's really important to put yourself in your community members' shoes, in your co-organizers' shoes, and see it from their perspective. That will help you achieve a lot more as a team, as a unit. The problem with empathy when you talk about it is like, hey, yes, I understand what empathy is, and we are good at it, right? We all know about it. We have heard about this many, many times. The reality is many of us are still practicing it and work in progress. So it's always important to keep reminding us, especially if there is a heated conversation or there's discussion, like taking that moment, pausing and putting yourself in the other person's shoes, and then sometimes you see things from a different perspective. This is not easy, right? Some of the work that we do, there would be occasions where you have to make hard decisions. Community Code of Conduct is one example. Something gets reported to you as a co-organizer. You need to do the right thing. Just being constantly reminding in those situations, am I being kind and understanding to myself? Do I acknowledge my own shortcomings? And am I keeping my negative feelings in perspective? Like sometimes we are like, hey, like this is not gonna work. But are we just keeping it to ourselves, or are we also sharing it with our wider team? And then finally, a good reminder, put your own oxygen mask first before you're trying to help your community, your co-organizers. Please take care of yourself. Like don't burn out in next 3 or 6 months. Don't run all the campaigns that get thrown at you, because then like, hey, like I can't do this anymore. It's a lot of work, because as Naveen said, almost all of you have another job, and this is something which you're doing as a volunteer basis. We want to make sure that you have a great experience and don't kill yourself by doing too much. And finally, the thought of active listening to conversations with the intent to understand and not to interrupt. And with that, I would wrap it up. Thank you so much for being here over the weekend and being part of this academy. I don't know how we are doing on time. We have time for questions, or? Okay, so if there are a couple of questions, happy to answer them right now. But thank you so much again for being part of this journey together with us.